Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Have you ever felt like the only person you can't reach is the person who can actually help? Watch now.
Why is talking to a real person becoming harder than ever before? Watch now. Are we losing customer service or are we losing something much bigger? Watch now here at Secure 65 Health Plans.
Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Talk Power Thursday, the great disappearing human. Whatever happened to customer service? Why you can't talk to a real person anymore? Have you ever called a company, listened to 6 minutes of menu options, answered 3 security questions, talked to a robot, gotten transferred twice, and somehow ended up right back where you started? Or how about this one? You finally get frustrated enough to yell, "Representative!" into the phone, and the automated voice calmly responds, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand." Well, of course you didn't understand. You haven't understood for the last 20 minutes. Let me ask you another question. When was the last time you called a business and a real human being answered the phone on the first ring? Not a chatbot, not an automated assistant, not artificial intelligence. I mean a real human being. Take your time. We'll wait. Because many Americans, especially seniors, talking to a real person has become harder than getting your grandkids to answer a text message. And you know what? That's exactly what we're talking about today. Hello, everyone. I'm Moné Swann, and welcome back to Talk Power Thursday, brought to you by Secure 65 Health Plans. Secure 65 Health Plans is brought to you by Collaborative Expansion Foundation and sponsored by Bivix Wealth and Insurance Solutions. Every week, I try to tackle topics that affect real people dealing with real situations. Topics that make us laugh, make us think, and hopefully help us navigate life a little more successfully. So before I jump into today's topic, I need to ask you guys a quick favor. If you enjoy content that helps seniors stay informed, stay protected, and stay empowered, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Every like, every share, and every subscription helps our fellow seniors across the country find information that can help them avoid mistakes, save money, and make better decisions. Okay? So now let's talk about something that I think is driving all of us crazy. The great disappearing human. What happened to customer service, guys? I'm going to tell you this because I know somewhere between rotary phones and smartphones, the people vanished. The people who answered questions, the people who solved problems, the people who could actually make decisions, gone. Today, you call customer service and it feels like you're auditioning for a game show. Press 1, press 2, press 3, and press 4 if you'd like to question every decision that led you to making this phone call. And you know what? Heaven forbid you push the wrong button, okay? Because now you've entered a portal and nobody knows where you'll end up. You might start with your pharmacy and somehow finish the call talking to someone, I don't know, in lawn care department in a whole nother state, right? So before we blame technology for everything, let's understand what's actually happening. And there are 3 reasons talking to a human has become so difficult. And once you understand them, everything will kind of start to make sense, okay? Reason number 1, companies are saving money. Now, I know that doesn't sound shocking. Businesses exist to make money. So that's really not the issue. The issue is how they're doing it. I want you to think about it because employees need salaries. Employees need benefits. Employees need training. Employees take vacations. Employees retire. Computers don't do any of those things. A chatbot doesn't ask for a raise. An automated phone system doesn't call in sick. Artificial intelligence doesn't need dental coverage. And so businesses started looking at customer service departments and asking themselves just this one simple question. Can technology do this cheaper? And what do you think the answer was, you guys? A resounding yes. Industry experts estimate that businesses save billions of dollars every year by replacing customer service positions with automated systems. And I said billions, okay, with a B. From the company's perspective, of course, that's fantastic. From the customer's perspective, not so much. Because now you're spending 45 minutes on average trying to solve a problem that used to take, you guessed it, 4 minutes. Have you ever noticed how every company tells you, your call is important to us? Oh my God, I just love that phrase. Your call is important to us. Really? Really? Because you know what? If my call is so important, why have I listened to the same saxophone solo for the last 37 minutes? And you know what? At some point, your hold music becomes part of your life story. You start recognizing songs. I heard that one before. You start humming along. You start wondering whether the musician who recorded it has grandchildren by now. That's ridiculous, right? And then just when someone finally answers, the call disconnects. So let's be honest. We've all had that happen, and we know how we feel about it. You spend 40 minutes getting to a human. The human says, let me transfer you, and you think you're going to have a heart attack. And suddenly, you're right back where you started. It's like customer service Groundhog Day all over again. Reason number 2, everybody wants you to use an app. Okay, so now don't get me wrong. I like technology too. Technology has made many of my things a lot easier. I can talk to family across the country. I can order groceries. I can manage appointments. I can look up information instantaneously. Technology can be wonderful. But apparently every company in America woke up one morning and decided we all need an app. Everything has an app. The bank has an app, the pharmacy has an app, the grocery store has an app, the coffee shop has an app, the gas station has an app, the insurance company has an app. I half expect my toaster to ask me to download an update for next week. I bought something recently, you guys, and the first thing they asked me was, would you like to download our app? No, I'd like to use the thing I just bought. That's what I'd like to do. The reason companies love apps is simple, you guys. Every problem you solve yourself is one less employee they have to pay. Every time you look up your account online, that's one less phone call. Every time you reset your own password, that's one less support ticket. Every time you navigate through 6 different screens looking for an answer, that's one less human interaction. And while that may be efficient, it isn't always effective because sometimes people don't want a website. Sometimes people don't want an app. Sometimes people just have a simple question and they want a simple answer. Imagine that. Now let's go on to reason number 3, artificial intelligence. Now this is where things get really interesting. Artificial intelligence is becoming the first line of customer service for many, almost all businesses, I'll say. And sometimes it works very, very well. If you need basic information, AI can be very helpful. Need business hours? Great. Need an address? Super fantastic. Need to know whether a store is open? Wonderful. But problems start when situations become complicated because real life is complicated. Healthcare is complicated. Insurance, complicated. Retirement planning, complicated. And sometimes AI struggles with complicated. You ask one question, it answers another. You explain the problem. It gives you information about something completely different. You start wondering whether you're talking to artificial intelligence or whether somebody programmed confusion directly into the system. You say, my prescription hasn't arrived. The AI says, would you like help resetting your password? No, I would like my prescription. My prescription. Password? My prescription. Password? At some point, you're not having customer service anymore. You're participating in a comedy sketch. And here's the part nobody wants to talk about. This affects seniors differently than everyone else because many seniors grew up during a time when businesses valued relationships. The pharmacist knew your name. The banker knew your name and your family. The insurance agent knew your name and sent out birthday cards. The grocery store owner knew your name, and customer service wasn't a department. It was a relationship. And for many people, that's really what's missing today. Not just efficiency, human connection. So now, before anybody thinks that this is just a giant complaint session, let me reassure you, I'm not spending the next 20 minutes complaining. Because in the next part of this program, I'm going to talk about something even more important. What we're actually losing when humans disappear. How this affects healthcare, Medicare, Social Security, banking, and everyday life. And most importantly, what you can do when you've reached your wits' end and just want to talk to a doggone real human being. But here's the bigger issue. This really isn't about customer service at all. It's about what we're losing. Because when humans disappear, something else disappears with them. Relationships, trust, understanding, patience, and let's face it, common sense. So let's talk about what that looks like in the real world. Let's start with healthcare, because if there's one place where you absolutely want to talk to a human being, it's healthcare. So let me ask you this. Have you ever tried calling a doctor's office recently? You call, press 1, press 2 to leave a message. Wait. Leave another message. Wait again. Meanwhile, you're not calling because you're bored. You're calling because you're worried, or maybe you have a question about medication, or maybe you're waiting for test results, or maybe you're trying to schedule something important. But now you're stuck in voicemail purgatory. And here's what's interesting, you guys. Healthcare professionals themselves are frustrated too. Doctors are spending more time entering information into computer systems than talking to their patients. Okay? Nurses are dealing with electronic systems that seem to require 17 clicks to accomplish one simple task. Everybody is staring at screens, and nobody seems to have enough time. Now, don't get me wrong, technology has helped healthcare tremendously, no doubt. But I think most seniors would agree that there is no substitute for a healthcare professional looking you right in the eyes and saying, hey, here's what's going on. That's just reassuring. That's human. That's something a computer can't fully replace. So now let's talk about Medicare, because this one is personal for many of you and myself as well. Imagine you're trying to understand a claim. You receive a statement in the mail. You don't understand it. So what do? You call. The automated system asks for your member number, then your birth date, then your zip code, then your mother's maiden name, then your favorite elementary school teacher. Then it transfers you, and you start the process all over again. By the third attempt, you're thinking, you know what? Forget about it. Maybe I'll just frame the claim and hang it on the wall, because that's about all I'm accomplishing today. You guys have felt that. And here's what makes Medicare especially challenging. Most Medicare questions are not simple. People aren't asking, what color is my card? Okay, they're asking, why wasn't this covered? What's the difference between these two plans? Why did this cost change? What are my options? Those are conversation questions, not button pushing questions. Okay, now let's move on to banking, shall we? Because banks have become fascinating. Remember when banks wanted you to come inside and talk? Now it feels like they're surprised when you show up. You walk in, the teller smiles politely and says, "Did you know you can do that online?" Yes, I know. That's why I'm here. Because the version online didn't work. If the online version worked, I wouldn't have to put on real clothes and be here with you. And that's another thing nobody's talking about. Sometimes people aren't looking for information. They're looking for reassurance. A website can give information. A human being can provide reassurance. Those are not the same things, you guys. So let's talk about Social Security. Let's not leave anything out, because if you've ever called Social Security, you know exactly where I'm going with this. Ooh, don't get me started, but let's go there. Calling Social Security requires preparation. Bring your water, bring your snacks, charge your phone, and don't forget to tell your family you may be unavailable for several hours. And the thing is, Social Security representatives work incredibly hard, you guys. The problem isn't the people. The problem is volume. Millions of Americans need help. Millions of Americans have questions, and there simply aren't enough humans available. So what happens? Long waits, frustration, confusion, and sometimes people just give up. That's the part that concerns me the most, because when people stop asking questions, mistakes happen. Benefits get missed. Deadlines get missed. Opportunities get missed. So let's talk about something I think many seniors miss more than anything, and that's relationship. Do you remember when your pharmacist knew your name? And it wasn't because it was on a screen, because they actually knew who you were. Do you remember when your insurance agent called just to check in and say hi? Do you remember when businesses built loyalty through relationships? You weren't customer number 84726. You were Mary, you were Bill, you were Susan, you were Jim, and people remembered you. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little nostalgic, but I think that's where the value was, because relationships create trust, and trust matters, especially when life gets complicated. So let me say something that just might surprise you. I don't think technology is the villain. I really don't. Technology in and of itself is not bad. The internet, it's not bad. Artificial intelligence isn't bad. Apps aren't bad. The problem is when businesses use technology to replace relationships instead of support relationships. Because there's a difference, a very important difference. Technology, it should make it easier to help people, not easier to avoid people. And that's where I think many organizations simply get it wrong. So listen, before I continue, let's briefly revisit something we discussed last week, you guys, AI scams. Not because I want to spend a lot of time on it. We covered it pretty thoroughly last week, but because it connects directly to today's conversation. One reason I think scammers are becoming more successful is because people are simply frustrated. I want you to think about that. You've been trying to reach a real person for 2 days. You've left messages. You've waited on hold. You've gone online. You've gotten absolutely nowhere, but spent a lot of time. Then suddenly, out of the blue, somebody calls. They sound confident. They sound helpful. They claim they can solve the problem. And that's exactly the moment scammers are looking for. Seniors who are frustrated, what do? Lower their defenses. And that's why I tell you guys, just slow everything down. Verify information. Ask questions. Never let urgency rush your decisions. Remember what I said last week. If somebody is trying to pressure you into acting immediately, that's your first red flag. Okay? Legitimate organizations generally want you to understand your options. Scammers want you to panic. It's a huge difference. So let me break away from today's podcast for just a moment. Hi guys, let me just ask you a couple of questions real quick. Do you like the podcast? Do you want to receive more information from me on this and similar topics? If so, then I have to ask you a favor. Would you please leave your comments below? YouTube has new algorithms and comments are required to continue helping our fellow seniors across the country. We want them to be able to find our information, especially if you find value in it. Tell me in the comments, if you don't mind, what's the longest you've ever been on hold? What's the most frustrating customer service experience you've ever had? And what's one thing you miss about the way customer service used to be? I genuinely want to know. Leave your comments below, okay? Then we're going back to the podcast. We're going to get practical because enough complaining, enough diagnosing the problem. I'm going to give you 7 ways to beat the system and dramatically increase your chances of reaching a real human being. Some of these are surprisingly effective. Some of them are a little sneaky, and one of them might become your new favorite trick. Because if you've ever found yourself sitting on hold, listening to music that sounds like it was recorded in a dentist's office in 1987, wondering if anyone will ever answer the phone, this section is for you. Let's talk about 7 ways to beat the system. Okay, so now you guys know these aren't guaranteed, but nothing is. But they work often enough that they're worth knowing and writing down. Way number 1, keep asking for a representative. I'm serious about this. Do not overcomplicate it. Representative. Many automated systems are designed to keep you inside the system as long as possible. But eventually, many of them surrender. It's almost like the phone system reaches a point where it says, fine, clearly this person isn't leaving. Okay? Way number 2, press 0. Now, this isn't the secret weapon it used to be, right? Some companies, well, they've caught on. But you'd be surprised how many systems still allow that old 0 trick. So just 0, 0, 0, 0. Sometimes simple still works. Way number 3, call the sales department. Now, this one always makes me laugh. Need customer service? Call sales. Watch how quickly a human answers. Apparently, your problem may not be that important, but your potential money, oh, it certainly is. Amazing how that works, right? You can call support and wait 40 minutes. You call sales and somebody answers before the second ring. I don't know. To me, it's almost magical. Way number 4, call early. The first hour after a business opens is usually your best opportunity. The lines are shorter. The representatives are fresher, and fewer people are competing for their attention. I want you to think of it like grocery shopping. The early bird gets to the cashier the fastest. Way number 5, use the cancellation strategy. Now, I'm not telling you to threaten anybody, okay, you guys? I'm simply telling you to be honest. If you're genuinely considering leaving a service, then say so. Companies often have retention departments specifically designed to keep customers. Suddenly, your call becomes very important. Kind of funny how that happens, right? Way number 6, ask for a supervisor. Politely, respectfully, but directly. Many issues can be resolved more quickly once they reach someone with greater authority. You don't need to be rude, you guys, and you don't need to be angry. You just need to be crystal clear. Number 7, use local offices whenever possible. And honestly, this might be one of my favorites. Call local insurance agents. Call local branches. Call local professionals. Call local businesses. Local people are often more invested in solving your problem because they actually live in your community. Imagine that. Human beings helping human beings. What a concept. Now let's have a little bit of fun, because every generation has pet peeves, and I think seniors have earned the right to complain about customer service. So here are my top 5 customer service pet peeves. Let's go backwards, starting with number 5, the callback that never comes. You guys know the one. Press 1 and we'll call you back. 3 days later, you're still carrying your phone around like you're waiting for a call from a long-lost relative. And at some point, you start wondering if the callback entered the witness protection program. Number 4, the survey. The survey about terrible service. Nothing says confidence like asking me to rate an experience that hasn't actually happened yet. Please stay on the line to tell us how we did. How you did? We're still trying to figure that out. Number 3, the website that tells you to call. Then the phone system that tells you to go online. Back and forth and back and forth. It's a customer service ping pong. The website says, please connect us. The phone says, please visit our website. I don't know, you guys, somewhere in the middle, you're just trying to remember what your original question was. Number 2, explaining the same problem 6 different times. Now help me understand something, you guys. If technology is so advanced, why does every person I speak with start by asking me everything I just spent 10 minutes explaining to the last person? I thought computers were supposed to remember things. Well, I don't know. Apparently not. And my number 1 customer service pet peeve, the phrase, your call is very important to us. No. If my call was important, we'd already be talking. Now, after all this laughter, frustration, let's talk about something serious. Human connection. Because that's really what today's episode is about. It's not really about the phones or the apps or the websites. It's about people. Because people matter. Relationships matter. Trust matters, especially as we get older. When you're trying to understand Medicare, you want a conversation. When you're making retirement decisions, you want a conversation. When you're considering life insurance, long-term care, annuities, or legacy planning, you really want a conversation. And those aren't decisions that should be made by clicking buttons and hoping for the best. Those are decisions that deserve real discussions with real people who care. And that's why I believe relationships still matter. And that's what we do right here. Don't believe me? Call 833-300-4968. You will get a live person. Technology can be useful, and we use it. Technology can be efficient. Technology can be powerful, but technology cannot replace wisdom. Technology cannot replace empathy. Technology cannot replace experience. And technology cannot replace someone who genuinely wants to help. So before we close, let's recap today's conversation. We learned 3 reasons why talking to a real person has become so incredibly difficult. Number 1, companies save money through automation. Number 2, businesses want customers using apps and self-service systems. Number 3, artificial intelligence is increasingly replacing first-level support. We also talked about what seniors are losing when human interaction disappears. Healthcare becomes more stressful. Medicare questions become more frustrating. Banking becomes less personal. Social Security becomes harder to navigate. And relationships that once built trust are becoming hard to find. We briefly revisited last week's discussion about AI scams and learned an important lesson. Frustration creates vulnerability. Scammers know that. That's why it's important to slow down, verify information, ask questions, and never allow urgency to rush your decisions. And most importantly, we learn 7 practical ways to beat the system. Keep asking for a representative. Press 0. Call sales and call early on a Monday morning around 8:30 a.m. Mention cancellation if appropriate. Ask for a supervisor. Absolutely. And use local offices whenever possible. So while the disappearing human may be real, you don't have to surrender to it. There are still good people out there. Hey, and I have to say, there are also good organizations that care. So, like us, there are professionals who answer questions and help solve problems, like us. Sometimes you just have to know where to find them, like us. Give us a call. Okay, so we went through all that. What did you guys think? Did you get any value out of today's discussion? I certainly hope so. I hope you found today's Talk Power Thursday educational, entertaining, and valuable. And if you did, call me and let me know. I want to be part of your planning life. My team and I can be reached at 833-300-4968. That's what we do. We help seniors navigate insurance purchases, insurance products, and create financial plans for the long haul. Secure 65 Health Plans is brought to you by Collaborative Expansion Foundation and sponsored by Bivix Wealth and Insurance Solutions, where all the best professionals are. Every day, you guys, I try to help seniors deal with complicated situations, and I do it at no charge, providing information, education, resources, and access to professionals in all industries who can help point you in the right direction, no matter what phase of life you're in. So, before I go, I want to celebrate our fathers today with a dad's joke provided by Austin Blockson. Ready? Here it comes. Hilarious, right? My father always told me that money doesn't grow on trees, which is funny because every time I needed money, he acted like he was protecting the last tree on earth. It's a little bit of Mae West, right? Anyway, happy Father's Day to all the dads, granddads, stepfathers, mentors, coaches, and father figures who helped shape our lives. We are celebrating you all month long. And stay tuned because I have a very special celebration coming up for seniors that I can't wait to share with you. Hi guys, just wanted to let you know that we are now preparing for Father's Day, and this one is truly special. We're launching what we're calling our Legacy Connection Initiative. Real conversations, real presence, real human connection. So look at this powerful moment with Shaq sitting down and spending a little time with a senior, just talking with her, checking in on her, and listening to her story. Because sometimes the greatest gift isn't money at all. It's simply being remembered.
Oh, Cheryl.
Hello, Shaquille. How are you?
This is a neighbor checking on neighbor team effort. I just got to make sure you're okay. You know, if you need anything, you just knock on the door. But I want you to be safe, and I want you to stop partying that night, playing bingo. Yeah.
Well, you're checking on the older folks, and I appreciate that. And while you're at it, you might want to check on Charles Barkley.
So this Father's Day, we'll have gift bags, food boxes, encouragement, laughter, and meaningful conversations for our seniors. And our mission is simple: help 100 people feel seen, valued, and loved. So again, thank you all for listening to us, being with us, and supporting us, and believing in community impact. We'd love for you to continue this mission with us. I'm Moné Swann, and this is Collaborative Expansion Foundation. Just want you guys to know we love you. Thanks for everything.
Hope can lift us even higher. Spark the light, let the light shine. Nourish the people, one life at a time.
So that's it for Talk Power Thursday, you guys. What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? Put it in the comments below. And remember, I have different topics 7 days a week. We have Make Money Count Monday, Tech Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Talk Power Thursday, Feel Good Friday, Share the Wealth Saturday, Soul and Strategy Sunday. I want to be your go-to place for everything you need when you're thinking about insurance and retirement, going into retirement, in the midst of retirement, and in legacy planning. So stay happy, stay loving, stay healthy, and as always, stay golden. I love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Vivex Wealth Insurance Solutions.